821. Inola, if it were to hold together, 831. Kiowa, 839. Choteau, if it were to track closer to that spot, 851. And then if we were to get into Pryor, getting into that area, at least the tech campus, 854. That is if this storm can hold together, which that is very possible for us tonight. A lot of the storms have been doing that. So here's your rotation. It is still not as clearly defined as what we were seeing earlier. Let me go ahead and take a look behind the scenes here real quick, just to get a better look at things. We are still seeing some of those stronger rotations, stronger winds, I should say, but no signs of an ongoing tornado currently, but the potential is still there. We are getting, let's see, rotation on that now getting closer to NSUBA. We are now north of the Creek Turnpike, at least that southern curve of the Creek Turnpike, closer to county line, approaching the NSUBA campus. So if you're close to that area, you may be getting some strong winds. Of course, heavy rain currently ongoing in other portions of Broken Arrow, so that's going to be more so over the center of Broken Arrow, closer to Main Street, the Rose District, Broken Arrow High School, over by St. John. The rain continues all the way up into southern portions of Catoosa as well. But our rotation here is on the south side. It just kind of nestled in that curve of the Creek Turnpike. So here's NSUBA, Lynn Lane, county line. Tornado warning extends all the way to the north. So at this point, we're going to be seeing this rotation track. You know, that intersection of Highway 51, Creek Turnpike, the Muskogee Turnpike, where that starts, that whole intersection is pretty much in the track of this. It may come just to the south a little bit, but we're going to be very close to that. So that's a good landmark for you guys to know. Pretty well-known spot as you're traveling through that region. Eventually, we're going to be getting closer to we're going to be tracking. Okay, so right now we're about 111th. We're going to be just east of the Creek Turnpike very soon. So we're still tracking that. I can get a quick check of this. That doesn't look very clear, but we are seeing, hold on, a little bit more of a hook maybe, or yeah, we got a little bit of an inflow at least with another portion of a storm trying to be brought back in. So that interaction will have to be watched. But our rotation continues, and I will say that does seem to be our one storm to watch right now. Of course, we still have our severe thunderstorm off to the north of Veneta. We can get a quick check of that real quick. This is in Craig County, so north of Veneta, south of Pyramid Corners, and seeing some strong winds with that. Get a quick check going through time, and there's still at least a weak sign of rotation, but it's embedded right in the middle of town. James, you're kind of nodding your head with that. There might be a little bit of rotation with that still, but
getting right up over the NSUBA, I think.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the Craig County, but
oh, sorry.
But yes, NSUBA storm is still showing up too. There's only two.
It's all right.
There's only two storms, but yes, right over NSUBA, close to the Creek Turnpike. That would be right about county line and 101st, just kind of right near the Creek Turnpike. Still seeing some stronger velocities with that, James.
All right, okay, let's see. Yeah, looking out from studio camera, let me go to our Broken Arrow camera. There is a lowering evident here. I'm going to look at Doppler radar in the area because the velocities at low level have gotten a little bit better organized, just very close to NSU Broken Arrow right now. So we have these outbounds that are here, the greens representing the inbounds, and it's right up over Broken Arrow NSUBA with that update that we just got. So that's a little bit better organized. Now, as we tip this up, of course it goes backwards a little bit because we're waiting on the radar to scan up to the next level. But, all right, so yeah, we're definitely watching this. Here's the Bluebell plant, Highway 51, Highland Park Elementary. Here's Oneida, NSUBA. This is a little stronger than it was before. We did see a CC drop out there, but that's also low reflectivity. So that's can't be confident at all that that's debris being lofted, but that low level rotation is getting a little bit stronger too have had a funnel cloud reported. Shooting a note to our Weather Service colleagues there. So this is what we're watching closely. So this could be starting to spin back up. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking at our camera that's located, let's see, let me find, again, there's Oneida, and our camera is about right. It's over here.
The Army.
Yeah, you're right. So we're looking back toward this and trying to see if we, Phil's watching this closely. He thinks he's seen a power flash or two. What's that?
I've seen two.
Okay. Power flashes don't mean tornadoes just by power flash, but they often, yeah, there is a little lowering in there. This camera has weathered more than a few storms over the years. As we look, there is definitely a lowering. Again, the power flashes could imply some strong wind, which we have definitely seen in here. And the rotation just got a little bit stronger too. And I'm going to, again, take another look at reflectivity here, because again, putting the whole picture together, kind of a big hook. We go to velocity, we've got that, and speckles of lower CC in here, but probably not reliable. This is really close to Park Lane Elementary, Highland Park Elementary, and Oneida. That'll be moving up across the new Tulsa subdivision there too, as it moves across the western parts of Wagner County. We can give the all clear to everybody on the Tulsa County side of the Tulsa-Wagner County state line.
It's going to be tracking right over the Forest Ridge neighborhood.
Yeah, this is, going right over Forest Ridge. Let me go over to reflectivity now, and we'll zoom into this. Again, a little better shot of that lowering you can see on our camera. We'll work our way up to this right now. And again, this is right on the Forest Ridge subdivision. There is that rotation that we've seen. Zoom in one more level. Just crossing the Muskogee Turnpike right now. Again, we're looking right up just to the north, or just to the southeast of Bluebell. There's the rotation here, crossing the Muskogee Turnpike just in the next few seconds as it moves up right toward Forest Ridge, because that's 71st Street cutting right into the banner. And again, this is a much more organized storm. Yep, just had another power flash. Let's see. Making another note to our colleagues at the National Weather Service right now. All right, do we have him? Okay. Is he on RS? Okay. Both chasers, okay. Okay, we'll get Joseph Tyree, our storm tracker, on here too. Let's take a close-in view, because we may have another tornado down with this right now, very close to Highland Park Elementary School. Goodness, yeah, you can almost see the funnel over on the camera.
Hey, guys.
All right, let's check in with Greg McLaughlin right now. Greg, what do you got? We're looking at a funnel or tornado right now on camera.
Yes, we have a tornado in progress. I think I'm on Oneida Road. So I just came up north off of Highway 51 here, and we had power flashes. Definitely have a funnel hanging down, and I've seen a little bit of debris lofted in the air, and the wind was definitely spinning all different directions. So everything that I see here suggests this is actually a tornado that has just formed. And this is, like you said, this is kind of moving out of the northern part of Coweta into the southeast side of Broken Arrow, far eastern Broken Arrow, kind of through that area.
So all clear on the Tulsa County side of this line, but new tornado occurring moving directly toward Forest Ridge. If you are in the Forest Ridge development anywhere around that golf course, country club, take tornado precautions right now. We've got a tornado down with this storm. It is doing damage. Greg said we've got debris being lofted up into the air. That's going to move to the northeast, and here's a 20-minute track right toward the new Tulsa housing development, and that's right on 273rd East Avenue here, but the rotation continues strongly here. We'll try to get that shot up from Greg pointing toward that tornado, but of course chasing at night is, it is tough. So we've got Joseph Tyree also watching that same storm. Correlation coefficient really noisy right now. It looks like Greg's got that lowering and that tornado right in his camera. All right, is he on yet?
Not yet. Greg's still got power flashes.
Okay, so still seeing some power flashes on Greg's. All right, let's check in with Fox 23 storm tracker Joseph Tyree. Joseph, we've got a tornado down right now. What are you seeing?
I have not seen the last 2 minutes, but I'm at 101st and 257th, and about 2 minutes ago I saw multiple major power flashes just to my north. I'm trying to catch back up to it, but as of at least a couple minutes ago, it was still on the ground.
All right, Joseph, as we continue to watch this moving northeast right across western parts of Wagner County, again, yeah, we're going to try to get our BA tower camera back on the left side of the screen right now, but we've got what appears to be another tornado down. Again, this is not lofted debris very high, thankfully, which is an indication that it's probably, if any, weak, at least for now. Let's jump back to correlation coefficient. That's the debris, it looks like, right here. So we go back to velocity, and again, it's co-located, although that's backwards, though. It could be an anticyclonic spin up, really, don't you think? That's very interesting when you look at velocities because they're backwards. Let's take a look at reflectivity. Again, it's in a hot part of the reflectivity, so the CC lower is definitely reliable, but it does look like, unless there's an aliasing issue with the velocity, that not that it makes really any difference at all when you're having a tornado, which way the thing's rotating, to be honest. So again, very close to the Forest Ridge Golf Course. On the south side of that, it looks like a tiny bit of rotation with perhaps some debris being lofted up into the radar signal here. That is the only tornado that we have, the only tornado warning that we have ongoing. That is in effect until 8:45. Let me expand the view and do a track on this because it has, again, lofted some debris up into the air where we've seen that. You could just see a ton of precip on that Broken Arrow camera too. Just kind of cuts it in half, and you can really see there's a lot of rain just about to roll into that camera. So the potential of a new tornado would come out of that part of the storm, about a 30-minute track toward New Tulsa. If this holds together toward Inola, that's 412 and Highway 88, maybe as far north as McFarland. Looks like this is going to stay to the west of Neodesha in Wagner County as it crosses over the Verdigris River and into parts of southern Rogers County too. And eventually this would extrapolate toward the Votech and Pryor, Choteau, Mid-America Landing, maybe all the way over toward JL's Barbecue there on Highway 69. So continuing to see what, it's very, it's been a fascinating storm evolution, to be honest, to watch.
If you watch the velocity, if you go back in velocity, it may have been anticyclonic from when we were first seeing it. And then it kind of shifted east a little bit more.
Right. It looks like the stronger part of that rotation is kind of rotating clockwise, but now it even looks weaker still. Another confirmation that we've had a tornado down in the Forest Ridge area too, with some damage being reported there. Let's clear that off. And again, look at velocity. We will step through this. I'm going to zoom in and we can show you what this looked like a little earlier. Actually, you know what might be kind of neat is to look at the rotational velocity of this storm. This was just a really quick spin up that was very close to NSU Broken Arrow and back toward the northeast. And not seeing super strong signs of that. Now, it's getting close enough to the radar where that's going to be a little bit of a problem too. So again, don't see. Yeah, so very close. So that we did see definitely some cyclonic rotation with it, some indications that we had some debris loft with it too. But again, that rotation is a little weaker as it moves up toward New Tulsa, but that just shows you how quickly that these storms can spin up and produce another tornado. So we're kind of going down the list here. We've had some reports in the Beggs area of some damage also in the Limestone area. That would have been the north storm that moved up into parts of Craig County. The wide view continues to show 2 warned storms and a big tornado watch that is in effect until 10 o'clock. So let's talk about those 2 warned storms. First, we'll deal with the tornado warning. We talked about the track just a second ago. I'll update that track for you too as it moves to the northeast. So right now north of the Muskogee Turnpike and generally moving in the direction of Inola, about a 40-minute track, places it squarely on Inola at about 8:30, close to McFarland too, and on into parts of Mays County. If we go a little further, get Highway 69, we're talking Pryor, Mid-America Industrial Park, Choteau, JL's Barbecue 2. Let's go further to the north and catch up on that storm that had produced the tornado. This is what's left of the storm that produced the tornado near Collinsville, moving up into Rogers County. And that is just about to move out of Craig County into Ottawa County. And when that happens, it's moving out of our official coverage area. We'll be with it if it starts to spin or look like it may produce a tornado. But right now, this just looks like a baseline severe thunderstorm to me. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect now until 8:30. So about 15 more minutes, 16 more minutes for that severe thunderstorm with no real sign of any kind of imminent rotation developed. Now we still have strong thunderstorms down Highway 69 to about 8 air. Then we pick up our severe storm that has produced at least a couple of tornadoes in far eastern Broken Arrow from NSU Broken Arrow, kind of hopscotching up toward the new Tulsa development too, and close to the Forest Ridge area as well on East 71st Street. So again, continuing to watch that as we look at velocity. I'm going to take a little closer in view here. And again, I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me as far as really strong velocity here northeast of the new Tulsa development, north of 71st Street. This has already gone past Forest Ridge. We can give you the all clear there. We can give everybody the all clear to the west of 273rd East Avenue as well. That includes all of Broken Arrow, everything west of the Creek Turnpike Outer Loop, or even east of it to about 273rd, you're in the clear. It's this still identifiable rotation. Now it did perk back up on the clockwise side of that rotation, but this is still a noticeable rotation here. It's just really kind of weak, and that's really good news to report finally as we continue to watch this heavy rain move east of 273rd East Avenue, north of 71st Street right now. The tornado warning continues in effect until 8:45 as it moves further and further away from the metro area. This will be pretty much moving over the Verdigris River bottoms right now. But thankfully, there's not a whole lot in there in as far as towns or cities, but we're kind of in the river bottoms here. That's going to pick back up again once we move past the Verdigris River and toward Inola. So we will continue to watch that really closely. We still have a tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock. That may be extended. As Laura said earlier, we do have probably looking at another round of strong to maybe severe thunderstorms coming late tonight as cold air starts to surge back our way. Let's go ahead and check in with Fox 23 meteorologist Laura Mock. Laura?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give an overview of just how everything is going to be playing out the rest of the night. First off, want to show you we still have the tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. tonight. All of these areas shaded in that reddish pink color are included, so that is until 10 p.m. We still have very strong storms moving through the area, just our one tornado warning. Let's go back to our Fox 23 Doppler radar. Big picture, storms continue to stretch from Joplin all the way down the turnpike into southern portions of the Tulsa metro. We have our one tornado warned storm. In fact, back edge of that now cleared out, so Tulsa County completely out of that, even portions of far eastern Broken Arrow out of that warning too. This is going to continue off to the northeast over Inola, eventually closer to the Pryor area. Southern extent of our storms goes down into Okmulgee County, but then after that, things are much clearer. So here's your Tulsa metro view, and you can see the south side of town still dealing with thunderstorms. Our rotating portion of the storm now moving through northern portions of Wagner County into southern portions of Rogers County. This is going to be really close to our radar, so that may make things a little bit tricky to identify, but we're going to keep a close eye on that. In fact, let's come in just another little bit more, and we're going to be seeing likely our rotation, if there is any, probably right about here. We can check that with velocities. And as we look at that, yep, that is right where we are seeing that. So we're still matching up what we're seeing with the reflectivity with the hook in the storm, or what looks like a hook, with our stronger rotation. What you're looking for are the different colors right next to each other. So we have the brighter reds and oranges next to some of those darker colors, which would be turning green. Just with it being close to the radar, that's a little bit difficult to make out. Location on this is going to be north of 71st Street. So actually at this point, we're probably closer to, let's say 41st or 31st Street. And we are pretty close to the Verdigris River out here. So we're going to be crossing over to Inola here very shortly. Let me give you an updated look at the timing of that. We'll bring this forward in time into the Inola area. We'll give it about 30 miles per hour. So Inola's time frame, that puts it into that area 8:28. Again, our area of rotation is right about here, tracking to the northeast. The rotating portion of the storm now moving out of Broken Arrow. So I'm not going to call completely all clear for Broken Arrow because you still have a lot of thunderstorm activity through the area, but at least in terms of that rotation, it is moving on. Now what I want to do is take you through the radar predictor. So what we're going to be seeing tonight, we have our storms currently ongoing. Those will be pushing off to the northeast, as we've been seeing, eventually clearing out, at least for the most part. Here's what I mean. Some of the stronger activity pushing off to the northeast. You may still have some storms on the radar all the way through 10, 11 p.m. Once we get closer to midnight or so, you look off to the northwest. That is our cold front coming in. Now, eventually, that helps us for the weekend in clearing out all that storm activity. But as that transitions through the region, we may have more storms currently ongoing, likely going to be seeing storms developing along, maybe ahead of that line. And there's still the potential for severe weather along this too. Look at the timing. We get to 3 a.m. and at that point, the radar predictor not showing too many strong storms across the region, but that could pick up when it gets to southeastern Oklahoma, as that air has not been run over by storms as much as areas off to the northeast have. So that's a little more untapped potential for our thunderstorms, and that's going to be early Saturday morning as it moves through. We'll continue to see that clear out, and it looks like by a little after sunrise, a lot of that rain should be out of here. If there's any left across southeastern Oklahoma, it should be much lighter and scattered and not causing us too many issues. So again, Fox 23 Doppler radar, we still have our one tornado warning. That is for northern Wagner County, southern Rogers County, extending into portions of Mays County in effect until 8:45. Let's come back into our storm again and take a look at our rotation real quick. Southern portions, Tulsa Metro, Sapulpa, Glenpool, Jinx, northern portions of Bixby, central Broken Arrow, still dealing with a lot of thunderstorms. I could put the lightning on this and you can see a couple of those strikes showing up across the region. There's going to be probably a little bit more than what that's showing. But let's come into our tornado warning. Again, northern Wagner County, now moving into southern Rogers County, and the velocities on this are going to be hard to make out. We are tracking very close to the radar site, and sometimes that can make our data a little bit messier. It can be kind of harder to make out. Sometimes when you're too close, it can be hard to tell. So we are seeing some of those brighter colors showing up at this point right over the county line here. This is looks like kind of that boundary there near the Verdigris River. So just south of 412 by probably just a couple of miles is our rotation. This is going to be right on the county line. So we're going to be coming into Inola, center of Inola. You are in the path of this. Our rotation is showing up with the brighter yellows and that darker patch there. And again, that's going to be coming in right into Inola. So here's our rotation. We can get a quick check of our debris tracker, and that is just a mess, not showing anything clearly, but we are still seeing that area of rotation match up with what we're seeing with the reflectivity. This is going to be tracking over 412 very soon near the intersection of 412 and Highway 88 on the north side of Inola, so just east of the radar site, eventually coming into McFarland. And as we go more off to the northeast, we could be tracking closer to Pryor, maybe the Tech Pryor campus. Let me give you another track of this. So our rotation is basically right on the radar site. We bring this up, let's see, let me do a different track on that because I want to include the Pryor area on that. All right, let's bring this forward. We're going to bring this up all the way into Pryor. So McFarland, I pointed out that on the map just a little bit ago. Timing going to be 8:31, so that's going to be less than 30 minutes here. Claremore Airport could potentially get clipped by this rotation. Of course, Claremore itself just a little bit more to the west, but the airport here, 8:45. If that rotation were to track just a little bit more to the north, that Northeast Tech campus, 8:50. Pryor itself, closer to 9 o'clock. So that's about 30 minutes, maybe even a little bit less than that. And this is our only tornado warning currently ongoing, still in effect until about 8:45. So this is our one storm that we're watching, and we are still staying with this because we have had so many storms this evening that have been able to hold on to their strength for a very long time. For example, the one storm that we saw go through it at this point, the storm is up into Craig County, probably over into Ottawa County at this point, but we saw that strengthen up starting in Stroud with rotation, eventually put down a tornado, or at least we saw evidence of that close to Bristow. It tracked north of Tulsa. We saw more evidence of a tornado all the way through Rogers County, up by Lake Oologah, and then finally weakening as it got into that far northeast corner of the state. This storm that we still have a warning on, this got started south of Okfuskee County. So we saw this move into Okfuskee County, Okmulgee County, Tulsa County. Now at this point, we're all the way into Rogers County, crossing over 412 and approaching the Pryor region. So this is our one tornado warning, and we are still seeing reflectivity signs of that hook of where it wants to rotate. But James, we are so close to the radar site at this point that it's kind of hard to make much out. But yeah, we are right there where we are still seeing those signs. Coming back just a little bit, and so we got kind of two locations here. At first, it looked like that one spot was coming in right close to the radar, but it looks like right about here on the south side of Inola, that could be our area of rotation at this point. That would put us a couple miles south of 412, right into the town of Inola. And I've also not quite been seeing a whole lot in terms of debris in the storm either, James.
No, not at all. And we're looking super close to as you said, to the radar, which means we're looking super low to the ground here too. But that's our spot, and this is going to be coming up very close to Inola here in the next few minutes. Let's go ahead and zoom in. We've had a couple of funnels still sighted with this. Our team coverage continues with our radio partners, KRMG, K95, Mix 96, and the Eagle. But that's the little hook that has formed on this storm. Let's go to velocity, and I expect this to look kind of noisy. It usually does when we're really low, but we do have some rotation here. Now moving to the northeast, that's going to take it very close to Inola. Correlation coefficient really noisy this close to the radar too. So again, if you're in Inola, you still need to be in your tornado safe place, lowest level, center part, smallest room in your home. Now, if you are in a mobile home or car, you've got to get to a close, nearby, sturdy shelter really fast. But lowest level, center part, small room, if you don't have a safe room, old-fashioned underground tornado shelter or basement with that storm. We will continue to watch that. That is the only tornado warning that we have ongoing. As I expand the view, there's something else that at least is a concern too, and that's a lot of water that has fallen over southern Tulsa County too, with repeated areas of rain. Now, I'm going to drop the radar, add estimated rain totals, and you can see just right in here that we've definitely picked up quite a bit of rain, especially from the north side of Bixby, curving back over Highway 67, the Kimberly-Clark plant, and down just to the southeast of Mounds. And so it has been definitely a heavy rain event there too, to go along with that potential that we saw for tornado damage here and there. Radar rainfall estimation still showing in this blue area, probably up to 2 inches of rain. Not seeing that popping on right there, but again, still seeing, there we go. So still looking at 2 to 3 inches of rain. A lot of this has fallen really quickly too. So that's, again, going to lead to some standing water. We still have a tornado watch in effect till 10 o'clock, but the only warning in our area is this tornado warning until 8:45 for southeastern parts of Rogers County, western Mayes County, officially still for parts of Rogers County too, parts of Wagner County too, but now we can lift Wagner County out of that tornado warned storm. So that rotation part of the storm, very close to Inola right now. Tornado warning remains in effect for Inola, and this is going to be crossing over Highway 412 between Inola and Choteau. Not a whole lot there, but again, there are some folks out here too between Inola and Choteau. The main rotation is right here. That's going to go right over that Sensations Gentlemen's Club too, as it continues to move right across Highway 412 near the Rogers and Mayes County line. And eventually, if this moves to the northeast, going to be close to Choteau and the Mid-America Airport too as it crosses over Highway 412. Radio coverage continues on our radio partners, KRMG, K95, Mix 96, and the Eagle. We also have storm trackers out following the storm. We've seen a couple of funnel cloud reports over the last couple of, we'll say the last 15 to 30 minutes out of this storm as it passes very close to Inola. Several funnel clouds reported descending back up again, kind of cycling just a bit. But the rotation hasn't been super strong, but it is kind of centered right over Inola. It's strong enough to definitely warrant the tornado warning and definitely warrant, if you're in Inola, to continue to be in your safe place. Give it about another 3 to 4 minutes. This thing will be by Inola. We'll be able to give you the all clear too. Looking at correlation coefficient, again, zoomed right in here, just not seeing any kind of dropouts, and we are so close to the radar, we're only looking a couple 100 feet up. So I don't think we'll have anything down and lofting debris right now, but it's definitely a concern with rotation as strong as it is. Now it's, again, all clear for everybody in Wagner County, and just another couple of minutes, we can give the all clear for Inola, but this is going to continue moving northeast. Again, crossing over Highway 412. The rotation is actually a little bit stronger right now. It has just picked up just a tad.
Look at some of those higher.
Yeah, so let's look at the high resolution Doppler radar right now. And again, just to the southeast of Eufaula. Yeah, look at that.
Look at CC about 2 scans up.
So yeah, we're getting some pretty heavy rain in Tulsa now too. Let me go down to base level, correlation coefficient. Yeah, I see what you mean.
See that little spot?
There's something to that. We go back to, it's close to where the couplet was. I wonder if that was suspended debris from earlier.
Maybe we just can't see it in the lowest scan.
That's a good point. Inola, south side of Inola, that's where we're seeing the strongest rotation right here. Here's the high school. That's on the north side, home of the Longhorns. South side of Inola, there's the rotation. It's actually stronger than it was just a couple of minutes ago. Stay in your safe place in Inola. This will cross, moving east of Inola as it moves to the northeast, likely staying just to the east of Inola High School too, and First Baptist Church up there too, as that slides to the northeast. And it'll be crossing Highway 412 too as we head through the next 4 minutes. But the tornado warning remains in effect until 8:45. We've got about 14 more minutes of that tornado warning in effect. There's the update. Now you can see it's actually taken a little bit more of an east-northeast path, that last push on that rotation. So it is about 1.5 miles east of Inola High School and First Baptist Church there. But the rotation does continue pretty strong right here. So the tornado warning remains in effect. We've had funnel clouds reported. I haven't seen a report of a tornado down with it, but it's definitely something we're watching. We do have some lowered CC starting to form in here, and it's also in high reflectivity. So,
it meant 2 scans.
yep, we may have debris back into the radar signal again. This looks like it has cycled up into a stronger circulation again. So let's tilt up. There is vertical continuity to it. So yeah, I think we've got another tornado down, and we are just east of Inola High School. So this is going to cross 412, east of Inola, west of Shoto. Bringing it up again, the Sensations Gentlemen's Club is right there on the north side of Highway 412. You've driven by it. That's all you'll admit to, but you've driven by it. And it's going to be in the path here. So right along 412, east of Inola High School, we've got that circulation that has formed here just to the southeast of Inola High School and moving to the northeast. So I think we can confirm that we have debris being lofted up into the radar signal right now. It's going to be right up over 590 Road. This is going to be crossing 412 between 4210 Road and the Mays-Rogers County line. So that's going to be where this crosses Highway 412. As it moves on its current track, it's going to be probably coast to Shoto. Here, again, there's the update. We're creeping up closer to that Rogers and Mays County line, and that's located here. So we're 2 miles west of the county line right now.
Reported.
Yep, tornado reported. The National Weather Service confirmed. So just less than a mile south of 412. Same thing. Nobody needs to be on 412 between Highway 88 and all the way over to US Highway 69. Now this is going to be a big issue if this holds together all the way over to US 69. There is a lot of truck traffic on Highway 69 that does not monitor local media, and that's going to be an issue. So hopefully the Highway Patrol is out maybe proactively stopping traffic on Highway 69. But we've got that rotation here. As we look at correlation coefficient, a little bit stronger signal here of debris. You can see that lowered, and by lower, we're seeing greens and blues right where we've got strong velocity and we've got that intensity too. In fact, if you look closely, maybe squint a little bit, you can actually see that rotation being depicted in the reflectivity data too. But that's the rotation now. We're about less than a mile south of Highway 412. That is the debris being lofted up into the radar signal right now. Looking vertically, I'm tilting up and we lose it here. That's only about 500 feet up. So whatever we have going on there doesn't look like it's lofting debris really super high. New flash flood warning has just been issued. We talked about the rain in South Tulsa just a minute ago. That's a problem after dark, especially on a Friday night. It's going to be one of those Friday nights in Broken Arrow, Bixby. Might be just better off to stay at home. That flash flood warning is going to go until 11:30 with radar rainfall estimates of some significant rain there. The only active tornado warning that we have is this storm now east of Inola. We can give the all clear to Inola. This is continuing to move more to the east-northeast. A 20-minute track gets it across Highway 69. This is going to be very close to Shoto and the Mid-America Airport and the GRDA plant that you pass by if you're on 412 and cross over the Neosho River east of Shoto, and Shoto by 8:46. So while the tornado warning remains in effect till 8:45, that's only about 9 more minutes. That will be extended because we've got a tornado down right now. It's getting close to the Rogers-Mays County line. We'll be able to give Rogers County the all clear from this too, as that potential tornado, likely tornado, confirmed tornado, continues to move toward the northeast, right along and maybe just to the south of Highway 412 right now. Let me take a little bit different look here with high resolution Doppler radar again. We'll add to velocities, and this is now approaching right on top of 412. Bright greens, bright reds. We go to correlation coefficient. We still have some greens here. That's an indication that we have some debris up into the radar signal, so we still have not seen this lift yet. Now, the last 2, 3, 4 times that this particular storm has spun up to the strength of producing a tornado. It has not stayed at that strength super long. Now we're starting to get more reports of, there's new flash flooding at 111th and Garnett. Of course, 101st and Garnett, also prone to flooding. The county is about to fix that, close that down for 6 months and raise that entire intersection too. But our rotation continues now, at least in parts of Rogers County moving into Mays County. Flash flood warning, 11:30 is the expiration for it. Southeast Tulsa County, northwestern parts of Wagoner County. All of us with that tornado watch, that's still in effect until 10 o'clock. And we still have that tornado warning that's in effect in parts of Rogers County and Mays County too. Move that over and get a little bit better view of the tornado warned storm right now as it moves just across the county line into Mays County. Not quite ready to give the all clear for Rogers County because you can still see we've got right under the 412 logo. I'm not sure why it slapped it right there where we wanted to look, but it did. Right there is the rotation. So we're now north of Highway 412. We look at correlation coefficient. Again, there are some dropouts here right with, co-located with that rotation. So I'm confident that we still have at least a sporadic tornado down right here, lofting debris up as it crosses Highway 412. But now we can give the all clear to everybody south of Highway 412 from the tornado threat as it continues to lift toward the north. Let me go back to reflectivity again, and we'll give you a little bit better idea going forward as that tornado warning gets a little closer to expiration, but will likely be extended as that continues to move to the north. More spotter reports of at least brief tornado touchdowns with it. But that's a small but strong little couplet on radar. It looks like, looking at correlation coefficient data, that we may have lost that, at least temporarily.
Sign.
Okay.
I still see a very, very small signature there.
right
It's
in
not,
here.
yeah, it's not a large signature. It's not very bright, but I'm still seeing it from scan to scan.
And it's important to stress the rain and thunder in the metro area right now, at least in Tulsa, Broken Arrow, not severe. We're all clear. There you go. That is an uptick.
Next scan, it just came
Yep.
up. Yep.
So that is, again, some strong indication that we've got debris being lofted up in the radar signal. That green line is the county line between Rogers County and Mays County. So that tornado, as I tilt up, I don't see debris up in a higher tilt yet, but it looks like we've got a new tornado down right here. This is the county line. This is 412, a little hard to see with this HD Doppler radar, but that is debris being lofted up into the radar signal from the storm. Again, an updated track. This is getting close to the edge of that tornado warning, but that tornado warning will be extended. So that's right here. Moving to the east-northeast, we'll give about a 25-minute track towards Shoto at 8:49. New tornado warning will be coming soon. Mid-America Airport between Pryor and Shoto at 8:51. The GRDA plant on the north side of 412, the big impressive GRDA plant you see coming off the turnpike from Locust Grove and Arkansas, and Sportsman Acres development there on Lake Hudson as well. So that is the current status. We again have a tornado down with it right now. Again, this is now east of Inola. There's the new tornado warning that's in effect until 9:30, so we'll be here at least for that long. Our storm center coverage continues on KRMG with Mays County, also one of the storm center counties. So the main circulation is now east of the county line. We go to velocity to confirm that. Here it is, north of 412, east of the county line. Everybody on the Rogers County side we can give the all clear to, as this tornado is now east of the county line in Mays County. But Shoto, Mid-America Airport, toward Lusta. Let's see how far north this thing's going to go on its path to the northeast. But as far as tornado warning tips for Mays County, if you're in your home or an apartment, get into a safe room, basement, or underground old-fashioned storm cellar. If you don't have that, lowest level, center part, smallest room. You're in a car, mobile home, or you're outdoors, got to find sturdy shelter. We may have a lot of people. You're getting into Mays County, you get into lakes. And so there may be people at lakes that you need to call, be part of the warning team. Even if you have friends in Mays County, give them a call, let them know that this tornado is moving their way. Probably don't have to worry about schools and offices at this hour, but that's our tornado warned storm. That right in here. Our storm trackers are closing back in on it now. Looks like Greg has come back toward Tulsa. That's the rotation here. We've kind of fooled the radar just a little bit, throwing up some blue colors there.
Up a bit.
Yep, we did. So again, we look at, it looks like the overall magnitude of this rotation is weaker. They were really bright colors just a couple of minutes ago. Both the greens and the reds, you can kind of see there. Right there was the peak, just as it crossed 412. And then we've seen the colors get a little bit more muted. That's an indication that the velocity levels have decreased a little bit. This is all noise out ahead of the storm. That is not legit velocity data. What we're watching is this now 2 miles east of the Mays and Rogers County line as we continue to watch that lift to the northeast. It's still weaker. I don't see any indication that we've got debris being lofted up into the radar signal right now with it, but it has been kind of the mode with this particular storm over the last hour as it pulses up, produces a tornado for a few minutes, and then begins to weaken until the next pulse of shower, thunderstorm, that push out the backside of the storm that helps spin this thing back up again. But we are now in Mays County with that rotation continuing. We'll give you an updated storm track on it. That's it right here. So you can definitely pick out how we've got that notch in the leading edge of the storm moving up toward Mid-America Airport and north of Choteau right now. And there's Pryor on the north side of the screen. Now this at the current track is going to stay south of Pryor, so good news for the folks at Pryor. The rotation is even a little weaker. JL's on north of Mid-America Airport. That's on north of Lusta, so JL's up here. Still watching things really closely there, but really Lusta, Mid-America Airport, that's going to be the main spot where I expect this to pass over Highway 69, eventually towards Sportsman Acres there on the lake too. And if this holds together toward Boatman, Kerr Dam on Hudson Lake, and further north across the entire lake, Lake Hudson there as this moves to the northeast. Let's check in with Fox 23 meteorologist Laura Mock because the tornado warning continues now until 9:30 as we continue to watch this move to the east, but all signs are it's weakening, at least for now.
Yeah, last I was looking, we weren't seeing the debris signature showing up nearly as much. We kind of lost that over the last couple of scans, so we may not have any debris being lifted up off the ground into the storm. This is still our only tornadic storm at the moment. We still have lots of thunderstorms across the area. Don't want to ignore the flash flood warning for portions of Tulsa and Wagner County. That's over southern Tulsa and over portions of Bixby, Broken Arrow. We've just had a lot of rain through that area, and so that flash flood warning was issued and it is going to be in effect until 11:30. Now, the back end of this tornado warning cleared off, so that has cleared Rogers County out of the warning. The rotation at this point firmly into Mays County, and we're still seeing some pretty strong rotation with that. Lots of heavy rain still ongoing for the Tulsa Metro, but let's come back over to our rotation. This is approaching the Mid-America Airport, as James was talking about. You're going to see that classic curve in the storm. That's where our rotation is going to be, that classic hook. You have really heavy rain off to the north, up through Pryor, the Rocklahoma grounds, Northeast Tech in Pryor, and our rotation sitting just to the west of Mid-America Airport. And in fact, the rotation on that does not seem to be as clear as it was before, at least with what I'm looking at right there. Let me look at a different view off screen. And yes, the rotation is quite a bit weaker. Where that rotation would be is right here. So as you're coming up north on Highway 69, just between Choteau and that Mid-America Airport area, just to the west of Highway 69 by maybe a mile or two. That's where our rotation would be. Over the last couple of scans, it has continued to weaken. So yeah, James, you're seeing that too. So that is great news. We want to see this all weaken. If this were to continue, though, we would be seeing it come over the Mid-America Airport area, Sportsman Acres, and then over the lake, and we'd be pretty close to Kerr Dam, closer to Salina, and then probably tracking just to the south of Hoot Owl. So quick look, here's your reflectivity, and I mean, this still looks impressive if you were just looking at this. Definitely have that curve in the radar right there. Now when you take a look at velocity, yeah, it's not as impressive, and then you take a look at this, and not quite. So not perfectly matching up there. There's definitely a drop, but it's not exactly where we have that radar reflectivity much stronger. Let me give you an updated track of this as we continue to see this move off to the east. So we're going to put our rotation right about here, bring this forward. Oh, we'll do a little bit faster than 30 miles per hour. We'll bring this closer into the Salina area, just to the east northeast. So for Mid-America Airport, I mean, you have just minutes before it gets to you, at least in terms of the rotating part of the storm. Boatman, 9:05, Hudson Lake Marina, 9:07, Salina, 9:10, Chimney Rock Lake area, that's going to be 9:14, Hoot Owl, 9:16. Our tornado warning, the entire thing, in effect until 9:30. This storm still has the potential of producing a tornado, and we did see that as it was coming out of the Inola area, very close to Inola, picked up just a little bit more north of 412, and now we are weakening once again. That's just how things have been tonight, is you see ups and downs with the intensity of these storms and the intensity of the rotation. At times, it's going to let up a little bit, and then other times it strengthens back up. But that's where our storm is headed right now, and let's clear this off. And we do still have lots of thunderstorm activity across the area. James, I am kind of keeping an eye on that little notch there closer to Pryor. The velocities aren't quite matching up with it, but just on the reflectivity, it looks suspicious. Okay, next scan on that doesn't look as bad. All right, that makes me feel better. But again, Mid-America Airport, if we were to see anything try to strengthen up, that is right about where it would be. So here's Lusta, here's the turn into the Sportsman Acres area off Highway 69, and our rotation at this point is right over Highway 69, very close to the Mid-America Airport. All right, there's another scan, and we're shifting it off to the northeast by just a little bit more. So I would say our rotation is now getting east of Highway 69, right over 69A. So this is going to be in that industrial area, just kind of on the north side, eventually coming into the east of Pryor. This is going to be, there's Pryor High School, so this is going to be just to the southeast.
Complex.
Oh, right over the Google complex. Yeah, it is. But look at the reflectivity on this, James. It just does not want to give up. It's still just, it looks scarier than I think it actually is for right now, but sometimes when it looks scary, that means it can be kind of bad here in just a little bit. So we're still keeping an eye on it, even if it's not producing a tornado right now. Boy, does it have the potential to. We've seen it several times this evening. Off to the northeast, you still have a couple more thunderstorms coming through. We can just get a quick check of those. Not seeing anything too concerning. Maybe some weak rotation out of this small little thunderstorm just to the east of Veneta. You can see some of that close to White Oak right there. So you got some reds and greens next to each other, but it's not a very strong rotation. Just kind of pointing that out just in case it does decide to try and strengthen. It's definitely taking that shape anyway. Coming back to the Tulsa area, rain continues. Of course, we have our tornado warning, but we also have our flash flood warning ongoing too. The heavy rain still in the east side of town. Basically draw a line, Highway 169 through town. Everywhere east of that is still seeing very heavy rainfall. You can see the reds and purples showing up northeast Tulsa there, so just kind of east of the airport as you're coming up into the Owasso region. Lots of industry over here. Heavy rain continues over Broken Arrow, far east Broken Arrow, even down into Bixby. Of course, lots of water has already fallen there. We've had rain in these areas. Let's back this up and we can at least do the last hour. We've been seeing rain consistently, heavy rain for the last hour. So flash flooding is a concern in those areas. Hopefully you don't have to be out on the roads, but let's say you have to do anything this evening. If you have any water on roadways, maybe try and find a different way around or just kind of stay home if you can. New severe thunderstorm warning issued for parts of the area. We can go and check that out. That is going to be for that storm that I was just talking about close to Veneta. So that is starting to strengthen up just a little bit more, at least enough so that we're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning issued from that. Recently had a 66-mile-per-hour gust at the Veneta Mesonet site. That's one of the stronger winds that we've seen this evening. Probably not the strongest, but one of the stronger ones. So this storm is capable of producing some really strong winds, and we are still watching the potential for some rotation out of that too, as we are still in our tornado watch. All right, real quick, let's go back to our tornado watch. Let's see if it wants to do that for me. All right, in fact, okay. Let's go back one more. There we go. There's our tornado watch, and we have been clearing out some of those counties from the tornado watch. So Creek County, Pawnee County, Osage, Washington, Nowata counties now no longer included in the tornado watch. Areas to the east are still under that watch. We still have our thunderstorms moving through, but areas to the west clearing out a little bit more. Tulsa County, of course, still dealing with the rain, and we still have our 1 tornado warning in Mays County until 9:30. I want to show you the radar predictor and take you through how things are going to be playing out the rest of the night. Our highest severe potential is right now. We've been going through that for the past couple of hours, but things should improve a little bit later here. Give it a couple hours and things will be improving. Those storms that we're tracking are going to continue pushing off to the east. I have this stopped at 11 p.m. Let me go ahead and clear off this alert. We have our cold front approaching from the northwest. That is going to be moving into green country closer to about midnight, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after for some locations. But as that moves in, there could be more thunderstorms developing along that. So we've had a long evening of tornado warnings, and some of you may wake up in the middle of the night to more thunderstorms coming through. The severe weather threat with this should be lower for most of us. Where we've had all those thunderstorms move through over northeastern Oklahoma, the air is pretty well worked over. There's not going to be as much instability to work with those storms. But as the cold front starts to push more so into southeastern Oklahoma, we could see a brief strengthening with the storm intensity. That's going to be for southeastern Oklahoma. Eventually that moves out, and I think shortly after sunrise on Saturday, a lot of those storms are out. We still may have a little bit of light rain left over Saturday morning before things calm down a lot more for the weekend. All right, let's come back to our radar, and I want to come back to our storm. Don't want to ignore it for too long, and yeah, we still have that hook shape to it, and the velocities still evident that we have some areas trying to rotate, but we're not seeing it as organized, at least with what I'm seeing right here. Let me take another look off the side of the screen here. And we still have some broad rotation with that, James. Still just to the east of the Lusta area, Sportsman Acres, as you were saying, the Google complex. But it's just not too organized, at least in terms of strength of that rotation. The radar still kind of looking pretty bad, but I'm not seeing anything evident right now that we still have that ongoing. We're still going to see this track to the northeast and still keep an eye on it. The tornado warning still in effect. In terms of timing of everything, you can pretty well pick out where we're watching for that storm at the bottom of that hook. Timing still going to have it closer to the Hudson Lake area just after 9 o'clock. So that's going to be 10-15 minutes. Pump back 9:12, Hoot Owl 9:18. And we're going to continue tracking this off to the northeast. But right now, James, not seeing anything super concerning with this right now. It's still trying to rotate, but I'm not seeing signs of anything being on the ground currently.
Exactly. And again, as you said, it's easy to pick out the part of the storm we're concerned with. We've got that big circle swoop right here. right along Highway 69A over towards Sportsman Acres. But we can give the all clear to everybody to the west of Highway 69 right now, and pretty much south of 412 too, because this is continuing to angle almost straight up towards Salina. So Salina, we'll need to watch this really closely. This thing has kind of gone in cycles. It's spun up, brief tornadoes, and then spun down from time to time. They just don't seem to last long, but the environment all the way ahead of this storm through Delaware County is still very supportive for severe thunderstorms that have rotation and therefore could support a tornado too. So this storm still very dangerous, and we still have that tornado warning in effect for Mays County. But right now, it is now east of Highway 69, which means Pryor also in the clear as we zoom into the storm right in south of Highway 20, close to Sportsman Acres, now to the northeast of the Mid-America Airport right now. And this is going to be continuing to move to the northeast, passing by Pryor to the southeast. Radar continues to at least show some rotation here. It's not high magnitude, but it's still enough to prompt the tornado warning and to keep that tornado warning in effect. Don't really see any sign of lowering in the correlation coefficient, so I'm not seeing any indication that we've got debris being lofted. But anytime you see reflectivity look like this, it's definitely concerning, especially in the environment we're with. Your eyes are just immediately drawn to this hook shape in the storm. And as that moves to the northeast, that's going to be very close to Salina and eventually along Highway 20 to the northeast of Salina all the way up towards Spavinaw. So that's something we're going to continue to watch really closely, because as that moves up between Sportsman Acres and Spavinaw, that's going to be moving up over Lake Hudson before it gets to Salina, and then as it moves to the northeast from there, up toward, as we said, towards Spavinaw and kind of just on the east side of the Neosho River and on up toward Lake Spavinaw and Lake Uchi too, probably passing to the west of Lake Uchi if it holds together. But again, this has been moving into an environment that is not one that would make you think this is going to weaken quickly. Now, our team coverage continues with our radio partner KRMG with Storm Center coverage for Mays County right now, because we've got that tornado warning in effect for about another half hour for Mays County. This is already getting up close to Highway 20 right now, that particular part of the circulation that could put down a tornado if it develops a little bit more. So north of Sportsman Acres and east of Pryor. We look at velocity right now, and again, it's getting noisy. All of the really speckly blues and greens, that's just some velocity noise in there, but rotation continues now, probably getting up close to Highway 20 east of Pryor, and if this continues moving this direction, it's going to be close to Salina, probably just a little bit north toward Tip, toward Hoot Owl, maybe Wycliffe School could be on the eastern side of that threat zone too. We go back to reflectivity. And again, this is a really strong indication on reflectivity that it is still a really well-organized storm. Let's see, we've had lots of reports of wind really strong with this. Let's take a look at our high-resolution Doppler radar right now too, because we can take a look more at the raw wind speeds with it as it moves. You can see where Pryor High School is there. Now we'll go over to velocity, and again, we're looking for bright, you can see those bright reds go through there. That's a really strong wind from west to east with that storm. And again, sometimes that helps spin up the circulation a little bit. Right now, I don't see any strong sign that that is happening, but this likely has produced some really strong winds as it moved across parts of Mays County too. But again, really noisy signal on velocity. As we look again at reflectivity, remember all clear for Pryor, Choteau, all the way down to the county line between Mays County and Wagoner County. East of that, we're still in that threat area, but that includes Tip and Hoot Owl. As we cross over Neosho River and Hudson Lake right here, likely passing just to the northwest of Salina, given that track. So it's kind of moved in this direction. again, watching any kind of wind coming out from the backside of that storm across Pryor that might help start to wind this up a little bit. But so far, we've not seen any indication on radar that that has wound up at all and is not really looking like it's an imminent tornado producer, but again, we're watching it really closely. I'm looking at velocity data on the side here, and again, we may be seeing a little bit of a curve back toward the north-northeast with it. If that's the case, we may push that tornado warning a little bit further north in eastern Mayes County. But again, for now, the velocity is still a little bit more disorganized. Again, that's all noise. We do pick up some strong inbounds coming here in that velocity if that can make it around the side of where we're seeing that big hook in reflectivity. Oftentimes that would be one factor that helps sort of accelerate the spin a bit, but we've not seen sign that that's going to happen. Looking again at, let us see here. So yeah, that's, all right, we'll take a look up into Craig County. We did see that severe thunderstorm warning continue in Craig County. We'll get up there and take a look at that too. Phil's kind of taking a close look at that. That's about to move out of Craig County into Ottawa County as well. Check of velocity here. We'll zoom in. And that rotation's getting stronger to the northeast of Veneta. Good eye. Good eye. Phil, just to the northeast of Veneta, east of Highway 2. Again, the threat area is clear to the west of Highway 2, east of Highway 2, including the Will Rogers Turnpike. We're going to watch this really closely. Let's take kind of a back step with this too. Again, yeah, that's again still worthy of watching closely up there in Craig County. It looks like a bounce back to Mayes County just now, but again, this is northeast of Veneta, so Veneta, you're in the clear from this. We go to velocity, and again, it's broad, but it is definitely a little stronger than it was just a few minutes ago. Moving to the northeast, that's going to be staying to the northwest of the Will Rogers Turnpike, but perhaps moving into western parts of Ottawa County too. Right now, not strong enough to warrant a tornado warning, but the atmosphere is still very supportive for rotation in thunderstorms and tornadoes. We do have now a new flash flood warning that's going to be for a bigger part of Tulsa and Wagner County. Let's take a little bit different look at that too. Let me go ahead and show you that. This is going to back up all the way closer to downtown. Let me see what the reports are there. Yeah, just heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain. More rain will continue to fall, especially when we get additional rain and thunderstorms coming our way overnight tonight too. So definitely something that we're going to watch closely as we see rainfall amounts really start to add up, which is, again, how oftentimes we break out of a dry spell is with a flood. And that's what's happening parts of Tulsa with high water. Be really careful if you're out driving around late on this Friday night too. Into Mayes County right now, again, we still have this really pronounced hook shape north now of Highway 20. So we, again, give the all clear south of Highway 20. Again, we're getting into really noisy velocity in here. See how kind of chunky that is velocity-wise. It's very noisy and pixely looking as opposed to the really smoothed out velocities behind it. So velocity data is a little troublesome right there, and has been for just a bit too. This storm has been a little noisy with velocity data, but I just still don't see organized rotation in it right now that is super concerning. So yeah, just a lot of wind. Let's check in with Fox 23 meteorologist Laura Mock. Laura?
Yeah, a couple things we want to keep an eye on. Of course, we were pointing out that one storm near Veneta that is trying to rotate again. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that. We still have our tornado warning for Mayes County east of Pryor. And then we also have a couple of flash flood warnings for the Tulsa Metro here too. So let's go from the north and work our way south. So let's start up here closer to Veneta as we take a look at that. Our rotation here is located to the north of Veneta. southeast of Pyramid Corners, south of Blue Jacket. As this tracks to the northeast, this will be tracking very close to Blue Jacket and Highway 25. You have Highway 2 here, so we are to the east of that, and we are north of the Turnpike, pretty close to the Afton exit at that point. So there's our severe thunderstorm warning with that, continuing off to the northeast. So this rotation on that has been increasing just a little bit in the last couple scans. We've noticed it try to strengthen up just a little bit more. Of course, not seeing anything super clear with anything happening right now, but that's just a spot to watch. Now we come down into Mayes County. We have a lot of heavy rain over Mayes County coming from the Pensacola Dam area, stretching back through Adair, all the way back into Rogers County. From Adair south all the way to Pryor, it is just heavy rain. Our rotation would be very close to the Salina area, likely getting very strong winds with this storm. And when we take a look at the velocities of that, we're going to be seeing that showing up in terms of the bright greens, and that is on the north side of Pryor and Salina, so on the north side of that highway, kind of between the Rocklahoma grounds and Hoot Owl. So those brighter greens indicating where we have the stronger winds, likely could be as high as maybe 60 or 70 miles per hour. The rotation on this, as James was saying, is still fairly unorganized and weak, and also we're just having radar troubles where it just makes things messy here once you look over by Salina. So some of those brighter colors are not true velocity readings. So our tornado warning there still continues until 9:30. So that's going to be about another 20 minutes or so. We can put this into motion and kind of take a look at how things have been evolving here. And yeah, strong winds, the main concern with that. The hook on the storm still looks concerning. We can take this back in time, bring it forward. We have seen tornadoes reported from this rotation earlier in the evening, but as we move off to the northeast, we may not be seeing that right now. Of course, Tulsa County seeing a lot of heavy rain. We've been seeing that rain now starting to push off to the east a little bit more. The back edge of this now past Catoosa, past the Lynn Lane Reservoir area. Center of Broken Arrow still in the rain, but South Tulsa clearing out. The bottom edge of this just barely skirting into Bixby. You have one little cell left over there, and then it's all pushing east, and that'd be good to do because we need some time for that water to recede before our next round of rain comes in. Farther off to the south, you have a few more storms starting to bubble up over the last hour. You can see that has started to come up. Those are not severe right now. Those are not causing any threat to our area currently, but there are more showers and a couple storms trying to get going. Most of the activity here stretches from Tulsa to the northeast, with several severe thunderstorm warnings included and our one tornado warning. Tornado watch still in effect until 10 p.m. Not everybody is under that tornado watch currently. We have been cleared in portions of Newata, we've been cleared for Newata, Washington, Osage, Pawnee, Creek counties, areas to the east still included in that. Our storms will continue as we go through these next few hours. What I want to do right now is take you through the radar predictor and show you how the rest of the evening is going to go. So our storms currently are pushing to the northeast. We still have a couple of warnings with these. Now, as we bring this forward in time, closer to 11 o'clock, notice we're still seeing that activity pushing east. We may not be completely done with the severe weather threat, may still have a couple of strong storms still ongoing through that time frame. 1 a.m. That round that we're dealing with now will be pushing off to the east, mostly across the state line. Southeastern Oklahoma could see a few more storms, but look at what's coming in from the northwest. Our cold front starts pushing in. That is going to spark up a few more thunderstorms along the boundary. Now, in northeastern Oklahoma, we've already had a lot of thunderstorms come through, so they may not be as strong coming through northeastern Oklahoma, but they could strengthen up more across southeastern Oklahoma. Timing on that is going to be early in the morning, clearing out early Saturday morning. So that's how things are going to be evolving through the night hours. Again, Tulsa County starting to clear out of the rain. Let's come back to our tornado warning. So again, this is Mayes County, going to be centered over just north of the Salina area And as we've come forward, you can pick out the strong winds with the really bright greens. And you're starting to see a couple more of those off to the north. And you would think the main rotation would be there closer to Hoot Owl, but when you look at that, you have a little bit right about here, but you also have some stronger winds just to the north too. Strong winds definitely our biggest concern. New severe thunderstorm warning issued. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. But again, main area of rotation may be closer here to the Hoot Owl area. Highway 20 going from Salina to Spavinaw. You're going to be in the path of that. Kind of a mountainous area, as you can see all the curves in the road, or definitely some hills there as we move off to the east. So our new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that southern portion of our storm. So that's going to include Wagner County, southern portions of Rogers County, and then coming into Mays County. James, biggest area of concern still that Mays County storm. We have a lot of flood issues across the area, and we're also getting a lot of damage reports across the area as well from the earlier storms.
Where's Paige? All right, let's take a look because we continue to watch the tornado warned storm in Mays County with disorganized velocity, but we've also seen two of these thunderstorms produce at least intermittent tornadoes, including across parts of Osage and Tulsa County in North Tulsa too. And let's check in North Tulsa at the Tulsa Tech campus. I think you said Paige is there? Okay, let's check in. Yeah, hey, Paige, there you are. Where are you and what have you seen?
Hey, James, we're at the Tulsa Tech North Peoria site, and we're in a parking lot 100 yards away from the main building, but just take a look around at the debris that a tornado has taken across here. That is a piece of the roof. It looks like a piece of linen laid across a light pole, but that is a metal roof wrapped around. Lots of limbs, branches, insulation on the ground. You can come look over here, look this way. Trees completely uprooted, knocked down. It's going to take a lot of work to clean this up. Even look in this tree, there is a piece of that roof. It looks like a piece of fabric. I can't get over how it looks so soft, but that is a tin roof that has been folded over that branch. Looks like there's going to be a lot of cleanup to be done here. And also, it's not a good idea to get out right now. If you guys are watching this at home, stay at home. We've seen a couple different accidents on our drives out while we're looking for damage. Not a good idea to be out. Got to let the professionals do their jobs. And we're going to try and keep you guys as informed as we can. Make sure you're staying weather aware. Keep tuning in to James and Laura. They've got the best advice. Live covering news that matters. Paige Orr, Fox 23 News.
And again, as we look at the ongoing tornado warning, it has shown weaker velocity over that's been the trend at least. But remember, the atmosphere ahead of this storm is still really favorable to support rotation with these thunderstorms. Look at all the speckles in the velocity. That's not reliable velocity data by any stretch, but in reflectivity, kind of centered over Hoot Owl. So again, we'll block out the velocity kind of east of this arc, and we're not seeing anything too terribly suspicious in this right now. We have seen really heavy rainfall across parts of the metro area too. Let's take a look back into the city of Tulsa at two flash flood warnings. One just to the northwest of the other flash flood warning. And again, let me take a close-in view here right into the metro area. And I'm going to show you kind of how much rain we've seen actually fall in this area. So I'm going to drop the precip and add the radar estimation of rainfall totals. And again, it's not exact, but it does give us at least a couple of ideas here of some of the heaviest rain that we've seen fall in the area. So more than 3 inches in spots, far southeast Tulsa, parts of Bixby 2, new tornado warning just issued to extend this, as we talked about, with that shape in the reflectivity and the continued environmental parameters really supportive of tornado development. Even though we don't have one ongoing right now, that rotation is just southwest of Spavinaw, 45-minute track, going to get us over into the southern part of Grand Lake. So we're looking at Cloetta, Lakemont Fire Department, High Lift Marina, Shangri-La Marina, all the way toward Jay. at about 9:49 as we get over toward Highway 59. So that'll be the new tornado warning, and that's going to be going until 10:15. So another 58 minutes or so for this tornado warning. We do have some damage being reported in Inola, some damage reported around Beggs and between Beggs and Mounds, North Tulsa, southeastern Osage County. Also, we did have confirmation of tornadoes in, let's see, we had Ofusky County were some of the reports. Where else did we? Rogers County, north of Owasso, and all the way up into Craig County we had the warning. I don't recall having seen any. Broken Arrow, east side of Broken Arrow, Forest Bridge.
Power outages there for a little bit.
So, yeah, we've had several, hopefully, brief tornadoes touch down. We're still trying to piece together all of the damage information on those, but the atmosphere is still very supportive of rotation in these thunderstorms continuing, and so far, that's been the trend. So the new tornado warning is in effect now until 10:15. Let's zoom in here. Maybe we can give some folks the all clear. But we've got this new thunderstorm line behind this. That's prompted these severe thunderstorm warnings too. Now these may be mostly wind as we go to velocity. See what we see here. Maybe north of the radar site, south of Kiowa. Let's take a look at reflectivity now. It's on the backside of the storm. Probably not a big concern. Jump back a little further south here. South of Inola, again, not seeing, this is really showing strong winds out of the north here, all the way in advance of where we have that precip. So that's much less likely to be a spin-up type storm. We look further to the north along this band of rain. And again, kind of the same story, just general push here from north to south. So hopefully our tornado warning threat is the storm moving towards Spavinaw, and maybe that'll be it as far as additional tornado threats. But we have had west winds push out ahead mostly of the thunderstorms that have prompted the severe thunderstorm warnings in Rogers and northern Wagoner County and back into Mays County too. So hopefully that's a trend that will lower the tornado risk and we just deal with strong thunderstorm straight line winds. We're looking at velocity right now. Again, close to Spavinaw, the velocity's a little noisy. We do have vertical continuity with still rotation continuing in that thunderstorm. So once we get above this lowest tilt of velocity that I've been looking at, close to Spavinaw, there's still some rotation here going upward in the storm. So it is still a threat to spin up another tornado. It just doesn't appear that that's happening imminently. As we zoom into that storm, as it gets close to Highway 20 and Highway 82, we will be really close to being able to give the all clear west of that highway. So Strang, Hoot Owl, Tip, we can give you the all clear. Wycliffe School, you're south of the main rotation here. So I think you're all clear. It's just really focused on Spavinaw and that windy Highway 20 right now as that continues to move to the northeast. Now that's going to be over the lake. Keep in mind the lake water temperatures are also pretty cool too. That may have some effect in reducing what kind of air gets lifted up into that thunderstorm. And it may not be a big enough body of water where that has much of an effect, but it is something we'll watch as this moves to the northeast. But this is just a few miles away from being out of Mays County and into Delaware County, and we'll be able to, again, give the all clear there. Now we still have flash flood warnings in effect in Tulsa, and some of the heaviest rain that we've seen fall is on the east side of Broken Arrow right now. Let me give a little computer estimation of how much rain has fallen in parts of Broken Arrow. You can see we're getting up between 3 and 5 inches of rain. Also back a little further to the northeast, closer to the Oak Grove Fire Department again, between 3 and 4 inches of rain that has fallen in that area too. So it has been a really wet storm after being really dry for a couple of months. We're still watching a lot of rain come down. And we're not quite finished with the rain just yet either. As we look at the tornado watch that remains in effect, it has been cleared from some counties. Nowata, Washington, Osage, Pawnee, Creek County cleared from the tornado watch, but still in effect, especially east of Highway 69. That's the main severe weather threat. For additional higher end severe weather, including a tornado threat, that watch is in effect until 10 o'clock. As we get up closer to 10, it becomes a little less likely that we would see any kind of additional threat to the west there.
You were looking at some of the rainfall totals. I have almost 3 inches in North VA.
Wow.
An actual measurement.
All right, so
And that's just the last 24 hours.
yeah, lots of rain that has fallen there. Let's again examine our storm close to Spavinaw right now as we look right into the storm, because the way this thing has gone, it has been fairly quiet for a couple of minutes, maybe 20 minutes at a time, and then spins back up again. This is noisy velocity, but again, it looks like this may be increasing just a bit as we look at high resolution Doppler radar imagery, still dealing with that same noisy velocity. Now, I'm up a tilt here, but this is a lot cleaner. Just northeast of Spavinaw, we're definitely picking up a really big increase in organization here as this gets close to the Mays and Delaware County line. So as we talked about, this thing may not be finished yet. The atmosphere over all of eastern Oklahoma, east of Highway 69 at least, is still very supportive for thunderstorms to produce tornadoes. So we'll continue with this tornado warning until 10:15, and for good reason too, with that increasing rotation and organization of that. Now that's going to move across the county line. Cloetta. We'll go with Cloetta for now. Somebody shoot me a message and let me know for sure, because I will pronounce it correctly if you tell me. So we look again at reflectivity here with that rotation just to the northeast of Spavinaw. Do an updated track because that's going to be up close to Xena. So Cloetta, Lakemont Fire Department, High Lift Marina, all the way to Xena. So we're getting into the southern part of Grand Lake here too as this moves to the northeast and across Highway 20. Now, Highway 82 from Pensacola Dam down to Highway 20, it looks like we're going to be able to give you the all clear west of that really soon, even in Spavinaw really soon too. Velocity is not as noisy now, but still really strong coming back toward the radar here. And we still have the reds too next to it. So that is the implication, the implied rotation taking place just to the northeast of Spavinaw right now and moving very close to the county line and into Delaware County. So we can give the all clear in Spavinaw as this rotation continues to move to the northeast.
About 2,000 feet up, that's measuring about 100 miles per hour. That's higher up in the storm. That's not your ground measurement, but that's going to be a lot of wind.
Yeah, so even if this thing isn't going to produce a tornado, it's likely going to produce really strong wind too. Let's see, correlation coefficient check, that's in weak echo area, so can't rely on that. Again, base velocity, this is what Laura was talking about. Let me go over to high resolution Doppler radar right now. Tipped up at these really bright colors here. I'm gonna just, let's see, there you go, 83 miles per hour here. So there's some really powerful winds as part of the organization of this thunderstorm. We get down to the ground, not quite that level, but there are some spots where we are picking up a little bit of rotation. Again, the velocity data is a little bit noisy here, but we still have some definitely sustained rotation with it between Spavinaw, Cloetta, and Langley right now. And that's just getting ready to cross the county line into parts of Delaware County. So we are going to continue to watch this closely. The tornado warning remains in effect too, as this gets really close to the Delaware County line and out of Mays County. Moving to the northeast and crossing Highway 20 right now, just to the northeast of Spavinaw. So it looks like, at least for now, we can give the all clear to the west of Highway 82 and also in Spavinaw as well, with that rotation just on the verge of moving into Delaware County, mostly just to the south of the Clearwater Bay Marina too. So Quick check of velocity. There is the rotation here. Again, mostly now east of Highway 82 and east of the Highway 20, the north-south part of Highway 20. Looks like this rotation is going to move northeast into Delaware County over the next couple of minutes. The tornado warning remaining in effect now until 10:15, so we've got a ways to go in Delaware County, but we're almost able to give the all clear for all of Mays County instead of just that small little part. As we continue with the Fox 23 news team fanning out, looking at some of the damage reports across Green Country that have been because of the tornadoes earlier this evening. And we also have this ongoing tornado warning in extreme eastern Mays County and Delaware County right now, southeast of Langley and northeast of the Spavinaw area right now. And again, still watching that closely. Now, as we widen out the view, we still have the flash flood warnings in effect in the Tulsa area. And those are in effect until 11:30. Now, the rain may have ended in Tulsa for now, but we still are continuing to see a lot of likely standing water, taking a while for the drainage to catch up. Back into southeast Oklahoma we go, and here we go. More thunderstorms developing in Atoka County. We'll have to watch these as they move up toward McAllister. Already a severe thunderstorm warning posted for this storm. Let's go ahead and investigate it because it'll be moving up into Pittsburgh County soon. And this is a long way away from radar. Velocity, I don't see anything super alarming right now, but that's definitely a severe thunderstorm. And it's likely generating a lot of hail too as it moves to the northeast. It's going to be moving up toward Kiowa, Savannah, possibly Hartshorn, Haleyville, and toward McAllister over the next hour to hour and a half. So that new severe thunderstorm warning, that's in effect until 10 o'clock. Back closer to home, we've got that tornado warning in Delaware County, severe thunderstorm warnings for the storms behind it. I think that's mainly a wind threat with a little bit of hail, especially to the north of Inola and southeast of Kiowa and east of Highway 88 and southeastern parts of Rogers County. Into sections of Delaware County right now. We'll go back to velocity. And the rotation continues northeast of Spavinaw. Looks like we're right up on the Mays-Delaware County line as that continues to move to the northeast. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning. We'll check it out, and that's for Muskogee County. This storm to the northeast or northwest of Shakota and southeast of Morris, moving up toward Boynton and eventually toward Muskogee too. We can give you a track on this. About a 30-minute track as it moves to the northeast, about 35 miles per hour, and that keeps it about 30 minutes away from Muskogee. But we're looking at Council Hill, Wainwright, Beeland, Summit, and the Mountain View Fire Department too, western parts of Muskogee County. Again, this is only a severe thunderstorm warning, only, still capable of producing a lot of wind too, and by the looks of it, perhaps some hail as well. Let's go back into the city of Tulsa, and we've got that flash flood warning. Looking to the northeast of Tulsa, we still have the tornado warning in effect for Delaware County. And now as we come up on 9:30, that's in effect for 45 more minutes. But as we go again, watching that rotation crossing the Mays-Delaware County line, I really want to give the all clear to Delaware County, I want to give the all clear to Mays County. Not quite ready to do that just yet. So some pretty strong velocities back on the backside of this. But to the west of Highway 82, sure, all clear. West of Highway 20 from Spavinaw all the way down towards Salina, we can give you the all clear there. The Weather Service just trimmed off part of that tornado warning. You just saw that. So the only tornado warning that we have valid right now is this section of central and northern Delaware County, but it does include the city of Jay. Updated track here on the storm. We'll put this right on the county line, take it to the northeast at about 37 to 40 minutes. Cloetta, Lakemont Fire Department, High Lift Marina, Xena, Butler Volunteer Fire Department, and Honey Creek State Park just after 10 o'clock. So if you know anybody out on the lake, please let them know that they've got a storm capable of producing lots of severe weather, if not a tornado, as that moves closer to the lake and closer to some of the state parks in that part of northeastern Oklahoma in Delaware County. Our flash flood warnings continue. Please be alert for standing water on roads in Tulsa if you're out on this Friday night. Between the flash flood warning and the tornado warning, we still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, mainly for wind out of those storms too, as we continue to watch that. We've had several reports of winds hitting 80 miles per hour a little earlier from the storm as it moved across the south side of Pryor in Mays County. Looking at high resolution Doppler radar, we still have some ripping winds from west to east in that storm between Spavinaw and Cloetta. That too moving into parts of Delaware County right now. So I think we can give the all clear to Mays County. It looks like that circulation is now east of the county line. So all clear from tornado threat in Mays County. We continue with the tornado threat in northern and central parts of Delaware County too. We still have a tornado watch that's in effect for about 28 more minutes. This officially expires at 10. That's also in effect for Chautauqua and Montgomery County, even though that severe weather threat seems to be lower temporarily here. We are still watching thunderstorms that will develop along a cold front that'll move in later too. That will generate at least another severe thunderstorm threat. We're already starting to see some of those developing in north central Oklahoma. You can see here. We'll watch those as they move in. They will be much more supportive of wind, smaller but still severe hail, and the threat of perhaps a spin-up tornado or two. We'll watch that closely as well. But for now, the only tornado warning that we have ongoing is in central and northern parts of Delaware County right now. We'll zoom back into that. There's no additional severe weather threat, at least for the next few hours in Tulsa. Right now, we're looking east of Pensacola Dam at the rotation in the thunderstorm. That's probably about the strongest that we have right now, right along between Highway 20 and Highway 28, so just to the south of Clearwater Bay Marina. Again, some noisy velocity in here too, but that's going to move up toward High Lift Marina, likely staying just to the northwest of Uchi and J as well. As we take a look, another note from Steve in our chat that the winds aloft from the Fort Smith radar still supportive of supercells.
So all those storms down south. Those storms down south will still have a lot of potential to strengthen up. We're not done with that.
No,
with those
no,
just yet.
not at all.
Yep.
So continuing to watch
and the
this.
front. Yep. So a couple
Very
things
closely.
still playing.
What are you looking
in
at
the
over there,
roll.
Laura?
Oh, I'm just trying to keep up and trying to stay awake. But yeah, still keeping an eye on the storms, and really our one tornado warning currently in Delaware County still ongoing. As James was just pointing out, we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect too. So our strongest activity still focused here across northeastern Oklahoma, northeast of Tulsa. Strongest of the activity at this point east of the turnpike, so east of Claremore. Adair, you're in the middle of a lot of rain, but the strongest activity is more so to the east and to the south of you. Our tornado warning just over Delaware County. The rotation on this going to be to the east of J, and of course we're going to have a lot of heavy rain crossing over from Rogers County into Mays County too. So let's start from the north end, work our way south. First off, when we take a look at the reflectivity, you're going to notice a lot of the reds and maybe a little bit of pink and purple showing up in there. That's indicating very heavy rainfall. We've had very strong winds in this too. That has been very evident as it's been moving off to the east. Heaviest of the rain currently just on the south side of the lake there. Clearwater Bay Marina showing up on our map in the heavy rain. The Dennis area, Monkey Island on the north side. So let's come in a little bit closer. And as we switch over to velocity, this is looking even messier than what James had a couple minutes ago. And you can see as we've gone forward in time, the area we were tracking was right about here through the Cloetta area. We had strong winds as it was closer to the Pensacola Dam. Now as it moves off to the east, you're still seeing the greens and maybe a little bit of red showing up, but you're not seeing those really bright colors really close together. And so the threat looks to be lessening at least a little bit with that. Still have to keep an eye on it as the reflectivity still indicates that the potential is there. So what I mean by that is you still have a curve in the leading edge of the storm, and so if you were to get some strong winds coming in from the backside, it could try to strengthen up that rotation again. But we're going to be bringing this forward to Lakemont Fire Department, the Xena area, eventually if it continues off toward the east. closer to Southwest City. Let's go ahead and put a track on that just in case. So our area of rotation, if we were to see that continue, would be right about there. We bring this forward in time. Butler Volunteer Fire Department, that's going to be arrival time, at least with the rotating part of the thunderstorm, 9:56. You're going to be getting other portions of the storm with the heavy rain and strong winds even before that. Southwest City, as we cross over into Missouri, going to be closer to 10:12. So at that point, we would be crossing over the state line. Let's come down south along the storm, and the next area I want to look at is this portion coming into Pryor. What you may be noticing first is the difference in the colors. You're seeing a lot more purple and pink showing up in the dark red. Very heavy rainfall coming right along Highway 20 into Pryor. We are just about to see that heavy rain over Highway 69 for Rocklahoma grounds, Pryor, Mid-America Airport again. Real quick, want to see if we are picking up on any hail with that, and oh yeah, we are. All right, let's get a check of the size on that, and looking like 2-inch size hail, and placement has that just south of the Tech campus for Pryor. As this moves off to the east, we're going to be seeing that coming into, again, Mid-America Airport area, city of Pryor, so very large hail moving right across the county line from Rogers County into Mays County. So that may be the biggest threat, at least with that portion of the storm, is large hail. And sometimes when you see those brighter colors show up, that's kind of an indication that you're getting the hail coming through. What I want to do now is go ahead and give you a track on that. So let's go ahead and we'll take the leading edge at least of this heavy rain, bring it forward in time by about, let's say 25 to 30 miles per hour. So this is for the really heavy rainfall and that large hail potential. For Pryor, getting into your area here in probably the next 5 to 10 minutes, Pryor High School, same type of thing. Sportsman Acres, 9:55, Hudson Lake Marina, 10:04, Salina, 10:07, and that is not necessarily a tornado risk. That is going to be a heavy rain and large hail risk. That could be causing some damage as well in those areas. Let's clear that off and continue moving to the south. Tulsa Metro, clear of any storms right now. Flash flood warnings still in effect for a little while longer as we saw a lot of heavy rain and we need some time for that to recede. Now we take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning for Muskogee County. This storm is approaching the Muskogee area. Main concerns with this would be damaging winds. We can check for a hail potential with this one too, and not seeing as much with that. You are seeing just a little bit on the south side. Let me adjust the screen there so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So we have a track here. That's the history of the hail with the storm. So it may have weakened just a little bit in terms of hail size, but that would be tracking very close to Muskogee here soon. So let's come back to reflectivity. I'll go ahead and put a storm track on that, just to give you an idea of how long it will take to get to your location. So this is going to be for a severe thunderstorm moving to the northeast. We'll once again do roughly 30 miles per hour. Mountain View Fire Department, 9:54. West side of Muskogee, closer to 10 p.m. Honor Heights Park, 10:02. Center of Muskogee, 10:04, and then Muskogee High School a couple minutes after that. So this is going to be having a bigger impact for the city of Muskogee. We'll clear that off. Again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. You have a few more thunderstorms trying to develop to the south. You have a couple of those over McIntosh County, Eufaula, Shakota area. Those are not currently warned, but with the environment that we have in place, wouldn't be surprised if that happens at some point this evening. More severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Pittsburgh County. A storm coming in from the south. Reflectivity here showing at least heavy rain. We can check the hail potential on that, and it looks like we are seeing some hail with that as well. That is crossing over the county line into Pittsburgh County. Estimated size on that going to be 1 inch. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning tracking to the north with that storm, and that is going to be coming in closer to the McAllister area. We'll go ahead and do a track on that as we bring this forward into Pittsburgh County. Let's see, I want to do the other one. I want to try and make sure I get McAllister included in that. So this is going to be, just got an update with that. So timing, maybe just a little bit ahead of this. The Savannah area, 10:10, center of McAllister, 10:30, the Krebs region, very close, 10:34. As we continue off to the north, Bug Tussle, 10:50, Reams, 10:54. So that's for the severe thunderstorm warning moving through Pittsburgh County. All right. Now let's come back to our tornado warning. Make sure we're not ignoring it. This is going to be over Delaware County, and you can still see the curve in that storm, that typical hook that we've been seeing all evening. The storm continues to push to the east. We're definitely impacting the Grand Lake area, at least on the east side of Grand Lake at this point. Check in on our velocities. Very messy velocity signature with that, not seeing any clear indication of a very tight or organized rotation. But I think if we were to be seeing anything, I'd put it probably in the Xena area, maybe coming in closer to the Butler Volunteer Fire Department. What we were tracking was maybe just a little bit more to the south, but in terms of current situation, that's probably where I would be putting it. Now, we are just a couple miles away from the state line with this storm, so hopefully we can get that out of here, and hopefully things can calm down just a little bit, but I'm not so convinced that that's going to happen. Let's go ahead and bring this forward in time again, give you an updated storm track. We'll estimate that at, again, about 30 miles per hour. It's been the general speed for things this evening, maybe a little bit faster, a little bit slower at times. Butler Volunteer Fire Department, your arrival time is going to be here in just about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less than that. Southwest City across the state line, at least with the leading edge of where any rotation could be, just after 10 o'clock, closer to 10:10. So that's going to be the potential for some rotation with that. So since that is not showing up as too organized at the moment, what we can do is come back to our Mayes County storm that's producing all the hail. Let's go ahead and switch back over to that. It looks like the strongest of the hail, because the brighter colors here is our current hail situation, but what you're seeing a little bit shaded underneath is the hail history. Saw strong, larger hail just to the east of Taiwa as we were coming through Rogers County there. That was probably when it was at its strongest. Does look like our hail size is coming down just a little bit. Let's get a check of that right now as it's just now moving into Pryor. So the hail size does look like it's coming down just a little bit, maybe closer to 1.5 inches in that hail size. Heaviest of the rain now over Pryor and about to cross over Highway 69. So large hail, strong winds, heavy rain, all a big concern for us. Let's take a look at the big picture here, get a wider view of everything happening. Just got a report, hail in the city of Pryor, at least in terms of inside the city, and then maybe some larger hail just to the west. So our wide view has a line, or a broken line of thunderstorms going through eastern Oklahoma from Joplin through Pryor, Muskogee, all the way down to McAllister. What you notice off to the northwest, we've been talking about this evening, cold front going to be coming in, sparking up a few more thunderstorms. And we're already starting to see at least signs of the beginning of that development. Cold front now approaching the Enid area already through Wichita. As that comes in, we will be seeing development of more storms. I can show you the radar predictor here and kind of take you through the timing of everything. So as we bring this forward in time, we're already starting to see some of that development off to the northwest, a few more scattered storms across eastern Oklahoma. We'll bring this forward in time. Radar predictor wants to increase things a little bit more through 1 a.m. with those storms that are trying to develop now in portions of the area, strengthening up just a little bit as they move to the east. At the same time, our cold front moving in, possibly sparking up a few more thunderstorms. Now, the air here across northeastern Oklahoma has been pretty worked over with the storms, so we may see these storms along the front struggle to strengthen up at first, but there may be more availability off to the southeast for those storms to try and strengthen up. And then this weekend will be so much calmer, just a little bit of rain left over early Saturday morning. So James, we're still tracking these storms through the area. Got a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. Our one tornado warning still in effect for Delaware County. And we still have that cold front that has to come through.
Absolutely, and that will mean more rain and thunder coming our way again as we watch severe thunderstorms to the east of Tulsa and our one tornado warning. And as that storm approaches parts of northern Delaware County and Highway 59 right now, Highway 59 south of Grove, moving toward the Butler Volunteer Fire Department. The velocities were a little bit stronger with this in the last few minutes, so we've seen this already move past Xena. It's about to cross Highway 59, the Butler Volunteer Fire Department again, kind of right in the middle of this path. It looks like most of this will stay just to the south of Grove, but as it continues to move to the northeast, it's going to be moving across Dodge. It'll take it about 20 more minutes to clear out of Delaware County and into southern parts of Oklahoma. Now, I want to take a step back and take a look. Now, these are tracks of the rotations from the thunderstorms. First one started near Shawnee, moved up right across parts of Okmulgee County, southeastern Tulsa County, producing tornado damage along the way, not continuously, but along the way, intermittently. Second storm, this was a north storm, developed the rotation sustained a lot closer to Bristow, and that moved across North Tulsa into Rogers County and all the way up into parts of Craig County too. Again, not a continuous tornado path, but that storm did generate the nearly straight line, two paths of the strongest rotation, and there was damage across parts of Tulsa and North Tulsa as well. And Fox 23 reporter Paige Orr has been at Tulsa Tech in North Tulsa. And Paige, you've seen a lot of damage there. What have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit this evening. Lots of damage at the Tulsa Tech North Peoria campus. Like we saw just a couple minutes ago, the roof completely flung off hundreds of yards away from the main building. We also saw quite a few downed power lines while we were there. Have to be very careful watching our steps. PSO tells me it's not safe to be near any sort of downed power line. It's not safe to drive over them. And I also got to talk to them and I said, what does it look like cleaning up something like this? And they said it looks like a lot of time and a lot of hard work. So definitely want to make sure we're having grace for those people who are out here trying their best to do their jobs. I also got to talk to the Tulsa Fire Department. They went in and made sure that nobody was in Tulsa Tech while the tornado came through. Happily, they reported that nobody was in there, nobody was hurt, but they did say it looks like it could be a couple months before that building is going to be up and running again. They said the doors, windows were all knocked out in one big swoop. I also spoke to someone from Global Disaster Solutions out of the Dallas area. They came because they knew that these storms had a chance of being very destructive. And so as soon as they saw the damage at Tulsa Tech, they went over to see if they could help out and try their best to be of any service. We've seen lots of people even just coming through these roads. I've seen the city of Tulsa. We've seen IMSA. Lots of people out here trying to make sure everybody is safe and doing okay. And speaking of staying safe, make sure you can stay at home. There's no need to be out if you don't need to be. Debris is around. The roads are wet. It's definitely not good conditions to be out here driving in. We're going to try our best to stay safe. You should as well. Make sure you're staying tuned in to Fox 23, either through our website or live here on the broadcasts. Laura and James are going to make sure that you are safe. Live covering news that matters. Paige Orr, Fox 23 News.
We still have that tornado warning in effect, and that's still in effect until 10:15 in Delaware County, too, as we watch the last bit of that thunderstorm just about to cross Highway 59 between Jay and Grove. It has increased significantly right in the Butler Volunteer Fire Department area, right along Highway 59. This is the south side of Grove, and we can zoom in here again. We're getting a little far from the radar, but right along East 330 Road and Highway 59, and in that area between Grove and the Butler Volunteer Fire Department. So here's Grove, the Grove Airport, high school, hospital east of Grove, out toward the airport. And now we are still seeing that rotation stay strong in Delaware County. We've got about another 15 minutes. This will be into southwestern Missouri, but the tornado warning is still in effect until 10:15, and the atmosphere here is still very supportive of rotation in these thunderstorms and any additional tornadoes could form from it as well. We also have other, again, let me go back to reflectivity. I want to do a track on this. I'm going to zoom out just a bit too. Looks like this is right along or already just to the east of Highway 59 right now, but we can do a track on this. It's going to be moving up toward Dodge, and again, we're looking, the timing's at the tip of my fingers here, so 10 to 15 minutes to Dodge and about 20 minutes outside of Delaware County into southwestern Missouri. But this looks like it will stay just to the southeast of Grove and of Grove High, Grove Airport too. Maybe just to the southeast of that corner of Highway 10, south of Cowskin Rural Fire Department, east of Grove, but moving over toward Dodge and then out of the state. But this looks like it has increased in intensity. And we've got, again, right in here, that's the rotation. Not seeing any, well, correlation coefficients really kind of messed up as we try to look at any kind of debris lofted, because we've got hail in this storm, and that does interfere a lot with that correlation coefficient. So again, not seeing any strong evidence that we've got a tornado down with it right now, but it has become a little more organized as it passes to the south of Grove, and the tornado warning is still in effect until 10:15. So we're here at least for about another 22 minutes watching this storm, and then we will try to catch up with Fox 23 News at that point. But our news teams are fanned out looking at damage across Oklahoma and that area too. You just saw a couple of minutes ago, I was able to show you the tracks of the rotations that went across the area from the two thunderstorms. This is the last one. This is the second of the two thunderstorms that created that rotation. I got a network error, so I guess I can't save that. Let me get this back up for you. Again, we'll take a little closer look at what this looked like. And I'm going to zoom right into the metro area too, and you can kind of see the paths of the strongest part of the storm here. Let's try that. And as we zoom in, you can see the two paths. One went right up north of Bristow, just to the west and northwest of Sand Springs, right across southeastern Osage County, close to the Botanic Garden and Gilcrease Museum, and then right up across North Tulsa, where we had that damage that Paige Orr has been at Tulsa Tech, and then on up very close to Collinsville, where we did have at least some intermittent signal that we had debris up into the radar beam. Further to the south, we had this cluster of thunderstorms, and the first of the rotation was actually well to the southwest of our area in parts of Pottawatomie County. So here is Shawnee. We're going here to just the southern tip of Pottawatomie County. That's where this storm started, and it has been going ever since, all the way through northern Okfuskee County, clipping southeastern Creek County, through Okmulgee County, where we did have damage in the Beggs area and Winchester area too. Back on the south side of Broken Arrow and east of Bixby, the rotation went with some sporadic damage and touchdowns there. And then right up into Delaware County, where we saw that rotation move up that way.
Our tornado watch was originally until 10 p.m. That has been extended until 4 a.m.
All right then.
Just letting you know.
Thanks. As we look, whew, it is a long, and it's not even officially spring yet, long night. It's hard to get tornadoes in early March because normally the atmosphere is still fairly cool. It's hard to get the moisture up, but boy, we sure did today. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in Mayes County right now. Flash flood warnings in effect until 11:30. Parts of the city of Tulsa back into southeastern Tulsa County and western Wagoner County right now too. Those are in effect till 11:30. And to our northeast in parts of Missouri, we have additional flash flood warnings there, but out of our coverage area. But you can see as we look into Delaware County just how strongly wrapped up that storm is southeast of Grove right now. Look at it, big hook shape. So far, no confirmation that we have a tornado down with it yet, but the velocities continue strong, and this thing looks like it could spin up another tornado. pretty much at any time. This has gotten a lot stronger over the last 15 minutes as it moves to the east of Highway 59. We can give the all clear to everybody west of Highway 59, including the city of Grove, as this continues to move to the east, more toward Dodge, and looks like just to the south of Grove. So Grove High School, you can see there, northeast of Grove. Airport is east of Grove as well. This is to the east of Honey Creek State Park, but the main rotation southeast of Grove right now, continuing to move to the north.